Okay, good morning, you guys. January 2nd, 2020. Wanted to update you guys from the Mitchell Taebel debacle that occurred in 2018. I'm going to go ahead and read this article, which is the latest thing that I was actually able to find with regards to releasing any kind of audio or video. We're then going to go ahead and listen to the newscast that also put up new audio with regards to what Mitchell had to say about this whole scenario and him being arrested. And then I'm going to go ahead and post in the description area of this video the actual case and the latest information on that. Now, this was a special request from one of my subscribers that wanted some information that was, whatever has occurred since I last reported on this. There hasn't been a lot that's gone up, but I do want to make sure that I provide what little I was able to locate. So 9 months ago, after a 60-mile DPS chase, actually it was more than that now. It was, I believe, 13 or 14 months ago, but this article was written a few months back. 9 months ago, after a 60-mile DPS chase, Arizona family finally received requested audio from the agency. Mitchell Taebel, the driver who was arrested after the crash, is a Sovsit. He spent his time on the phone with DPS negotiators talking about how they supposedly had no authority to pull him over in the first place. Troopers say that it was an illegal lane change that had them trying to stop him. But as someone who doesn't believe in government, Taebel just kept going. Negotiators called his phone while he was driving. Federal law says you have the right to resist unlawful arrest or stops, they claim. So there's no probable cause, so I do not need to stop by law, and I just want to clarify that there was no probable cause. Taebel said in the call. The trooper on the other end of the line encouraged him to stop so that they could get everything worked out, but Taebel was having none of it. Is there any way you could just call them off? He asked the trooper. He told negotiators he had filed several court cases against the state police and that most of them had been dismissed. 4 minutes later, he hung up and didn't answer when the troopers tried to call him back. Then the chase ended with Taebel's car barreling into Alicia Lewis. Now, most of you would remember that specific accident. It was on mainstream news. They played it over and over again. All of a sudden, he says, I saw the vehicle that was in front of me. They just sped out of the way, and I saw like a reddish maroonish color SUV just slammed directly into me. She said in a recorded interview with detectives that day, I looked down, I was like, oh my gosh, and I noticed that I was bleeding, and I don't know if I passed out at that time. Another trooper that was on the scene saw Taebel get out of his wrecked car and get in a tangle with the police. I did see the suspect driver as one of the troopers began to reach out for him, pulled away and pushed away from the trooper. Trooper S. Harris said in another recording. Lewis had a broken hand and foot. Taebel is still in the 4th Avenue jail in Phoenix. He's had 9 competency hearings since his arrest, and 2 more were scheduled for December. All right, so that's the latest that I have on this. Let's go ahead and watch this short little video here that they have up. This is from ArizonaFamily.com, just so that you guys are aware. This will also be linked in the description of this video.
Well, there is a strange twist to all of this because Mitchell Taebel, who was the driver who was arrested after the crash, he considers himself a so-called sovereign citizen and believes that laws don't apply to him. So he spent his time on the phone with DPS negotiators talking about how they supposedly had no authority to pull him over. Troopers say it was an illegal lane change that had them trying to stop Mitchell Taebel in the red SUV in late January. But as someone who doesn't believe in government, Mitchell just kept going. Negotiators called his phone while he was driving.
Federal law says you have a right to resist unlawful arrests or stops. So there's no probable cause, so I do not need to stop by law. And I just want to clarify that there was no probable cause.
The trooper on the other end of the line encouraged him to stop so they could get everything worked out. But Taebel Taebel wasn't having it.
Is there any way you could just call them off?
He told negotiators he had filed several court cases against state police and that most of them had been dismissed. After a 4-minute conversation, he hung up and didn't answer when troopers called back. Then the chase ended with this.
Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no.
Alicia Lewis, the woman in the car he hit, talked to investigators later in the day.
Then all of a sudden I saw the vehicle that was in front of me. They just sped out of the way, and I saw like a reddish, maroonish color SUV just slam directly into me.
Another trooper on scene saw Taebel get out of his wrecked car and get in a tangle with police.
I did see the suspect driver as one of the troopers began to reach out for him, pull away, and push away from that trooper.
Lewis had a broken hand and foot. Taebel is still in the 4th Avenue jail in Phoenix.
Okay, so Superior Court of Arizona, Maricopa County went ahead and filed a vexatious litigant document with the courts, stopping Mitchell from filing any other frivolous lawsuits against the county and taking up more taxpayer money on unfounded and frivolous accounts. So this was as of January of 2019. All of these are the cases that were actually filed by him, and all the way up to October 12th of 2018, November 1st of 2018, he was still filing frivolous lawsuits. It states that the Attorney General's office argues in its request that Mr. Taebel's lawsuits often contain numerous pleadings that unreasonably expand and delay court proceedings, and that the lawsuits are without substantial justification. In Mr. Taebel's objection to the request to declare him a vexatious litigant, he argues that he has an absolute constitutional right to access to the courts, and the Attorney General's request to declare him vexatious is further evidence of kidnapping and negligence by the governor and the office of the Attorney General. The rest of Mr. Taebel's pleadings rehashes arguments against Maricopa County Superior Court Commissioner Jane McLaughlin regarding the bail determination at his initial appearance in January of 2018, issues he raised in his now dismissed civil lawsuit against her. The review of some of the pleadings filed by Mr. Taebel in his lawsuit show conduct that is solely for the purpose of harassment. It goes on to talk about why it's being ordered, that it is being ordered, and that it was approved for filing as of the 31st day of January of 2019. It is signed by Janet E. Barton, who is the judge filed by the clerk of Superior Court, and copies were given to all of the relevant judges that would have needed copies of this. Now, there is an actual ongoing lawsuit right now. I will upload another video with regards to that when I get more information pertaining to that. This is the latest information that I personally am aware of right this moment. And since it was asked of me back a few days ago, I wanted to upload this to make sure everybody knew what this was about, what the updates are that I have currently. And moving forward, I will review the actual court case and what the findings are. As I understand it at the moment, there is a court of appeals that is looking at some information with regards to this that has been filed on behalf of Mitchell Taebel, and we'll take a look at that before the end of the week. All right, everybody, I hope this helps for you to kind of brush up on what occurred that December or January, and where we're at with this. Basically, this man has done very similar to what Winston Shrout did, which is just to continue to file motions until the court finally put a stop to it in order to gum up the system, which is what they're famous for doing. And so this currently is where we're sitting in terms of my research. Now, there may be others that have more information that have looked through Pacer. If you do, and you don't mind forwarding me an email, you can email me at virgotriad@protonmail.com, and I will include that in the video that I do before Friday, or excuse me, it will be into next week probably. Actually, now that I've said that, because we're not on a Monday, we are on a Thursday. My week's all screwed up from the New Year's holiday, but just so that you guys are aware, I am looking into this to see if I can get any additional information with regards to what he's doing and where he's sitting. These types of trials quite frequently will take years. And the more that these individuals use this ideology in order to attempt to try to gum up the system, the longer it will take. So it's no surprise that we are into 2020 and still have not seen final results with regards to this. But some kind of ruling has taken place because there is something in the Court of Appeals right now. All right. More information to come on this. Hope this helps. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.